this week's Top Gear, Tiff gets some bugs in his teeth, courtesy of the Renault Spider. Steve Berry's been to Truckfest for a fest full of trucks. And Quentin tarts round in an old roller. Every year, the Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders organises a secret motor show at a heavily guarded test track in Bedfordshire. They invite along motoring journalists not to just look at the cars, but to actually drive them. With so many cars in the same place, it's an ideal opportunity to have a whistle-stop end-of-series tour to see what should and shouldn't be on your shopping list as we career toward August the 1st. Let's start with the Probe. Now, it's been around 2 years and I still think it's a very good-looking, nicely engined sports coupe. It's also a Ford, so it's as sensible as a geography teacher. The only trouble is, you guys haven't been buying it. Sources in the fleet market say that all over Britain there are fields full of unsold Probes. Now this is good news, because dealers will be receptive to a bit of haggling. When they ask for £21,000 for a V6 model like this, laugh and start your bidding at 38p. However, discount hunters can forget Audi. The wonderful A8 here is starting to make serious overtones to the country's plutocrats. But the company's massive 50% increase in sales in 1996 is almost entirely due to the A4, which is now available as an estate. Audi's done its level best to spoil this particular car. They've ruined the value for money with £2,000 worth of unnecessary optional extras. They've fitted a diesel engine and they've painted it quite the most violent shade of green that I didn't create myself. But despite their best endeavours, despite all that, the A4 is still one good car. I'd have to say, in the upper echelons of the mid-rangers, you really can't do better. Volvo has been trying to spoil its 850 too. They've borrowed a 2.5-litre turbo diesel engine from Audi to create the £23,000 TDI. It's clattery at slow speeds and a bit pedestrian, but you should be able to average 33 miles to the gallon. And oh no, here comes another diesel. £19,000 puts you in the driver's seat of this oil-burning Jeep Cherokee. But if you really want to go off-roading on a shoestring, you can do better. We're usually pretty rude about larders on Top Gear, but this four-wheel drive Neva is really not bad at all. It's not much cop on the road, and on this test, the headlights filled up with water. But it did impress us by being almost Range Rover comfortable when the going got tough. It has coil springs all round, a 1.7-litre engine and a bomb-proof interior, all for £8,000. And that is good value for money. This, on the other hand, is not. Honda has taken its NSX supercar to the hairdressers for a cut and blow dry. The new look car with its lift-out Targa roof panel is fine for posing round town, but on a road like this you notice some of the rigidity is gone, taking some of the driver appeal with it.
The day that Jackie jumped to jail, there was a big explosion just as he got off the motorway.
Things are the other way round at Lexus. This new sport version of the GS300 is nice to drive, but it looks faintly ridiculous. The spoilers look like hangovers from the 80s, and the tyres appear to be from a Diablo. Staying in the executive sector, BMW has fitted new engines to its 7 Series, and Jaguar now offers a long wheelbase version of the XJ Saloon. Sure, you get more legroom, but the gorgeous lines are spoiled. This is the new supercharged C-Class Mercedes. It's a good car, but it's a bit of a puzzler, because you see, it has the same power and it costs the same as its more refined 6-cylinder brother. So the question for Mercedes buyers now is simple. Would Sir like a refined Mercedes or a not-so-refined Mercedes? Ooh, well, for the same money, I'll take the not-so-refined one. Looks are queer as fuck. And you really have to be very queer indeed to buy one of these glorified Honda Civics. Called the Rover 400 Saloon, it's overpriced, there isn't enough space inside, and the rear visibility is appalling. And then there's the VW Polo Saloon, £600 more than the hatchback, less practical, and uglier. And what about the Daihatsu Charade, or the Hyundai Elantra Estate, or indeed the Seat Toledo? Quite. What about them? You know, I've found nothing at the show to shape my belief that right now there are some very obvious winners in each market sector. The best small car is the Ford Fiesta. Move up the ladder and you'll find the best mid-range hatchback is the Fiat Bravo, or its five-door sister, the Brava. Despite advancing years, the Mondeo is as good as you'll get if you just want a bread-and-butter family saloon, while the Audi A4 is unbeatable if you want bread, butter and some jam. For those who want clotted cream as well, there's the BMW 5 Series, not just the best executive car, but one of the best cars made, full stop.
The Silver Spirit is not the loveliest Rolls-Royce ever, but that flying lady and classical grille guarantees serious presence and nobility. This is the last word in one-upmanship. But a brand new Silver Spirit would set you back a suicide-inducing £113,000. So you say this motoring monarch is hugely irrelevant. But wait, this gloriously pristine 1981 car could be yours for the price of a new Daewoo, around 12 grand. It has done its depreciating and has years and years of faithful and obedient service left. And don't forget, one day they won't be allowed to make cars like this. Struggling to better 12 miles to the gallon, it'll be deemed too big, too thirsty, too politically incorrect. But if you want to indulge in some upmarket mischief, to play the plutocrat, now's the time, because class like this has never been more affordable. Whatever you might think about this Rolls's bulk and girth, it does remain a very splendid way of getting about. You sit here in your own private world, insulated from every sensation of movement and noise. The 6.7-litre V8 never raises its voice above a well-bred whisper. But of course, one doesn't drive a car like this fast. One merely wafts along, feeling moneyed and superior. And probably the greatest myth surrounding the Silver Spirit is that you need to have Rupert Murdoch's handbag to run one. Well, you don't. Make Exchange and March your map of the world and you'll find lots of second-hand roller spares. How about a mascot for a century or 100 quid to you? A hubcap for £50. You can even get the rubber down to 70 quid a corner. A rear light lens is 110, and a full service should set you back £200. Just think, you can beat the system and join it at the same time. The earliest Spirit is now 15 years old. Touch wood, and there's plenty of it, they have no serious problems. All the mechanical running gear is Silver Shadow, so that's been tried and tested. As you'd expect, the bodywork is fairly corrosion-free, and I've yet to see a rusty Spirit. The only serious niggling problems will be electric window lifts and seat motors giving up the ghost. Always get one professionally inspected, though. Make sure you get it in a dark colour, blue or black, that it's got a service history, and always make sure it's got a leather interior rather than velour, because a Rolls just isn't a Rolls without a bit of hide inside. But this is one Spirit which won't haunt you when it comes to insurance. We did a ring round and came up with some surprisingly sensible quotes. Because spirits don't get thrashed and trashed, insurance isn't dear. For a 30-year-old with a decent NCB, we got $351 a year. That's right, less than £400 fully comp on a roller. And if you feel that imposing Doric radiator a little too vulgar, you could go for something less conspicuous, like a Bentley.
Both cars are virtually identical apart from the badges and the grille. This is actually a 1982 Mulsane that's been up-spec to look like a Turbo R with the double headlamps and the alloys. It's worth probably 16 grand, but looks like 50. Find one in Balmoral green or black, and before you know where you are, they'll be asking you to join the Freemasons.
They might look similar, but Spirit and Mulsane are very different creatures. Where the double R is Araviste, the Bentley reeks of old money. That both are currently available at such remarkable rates means that these are the best value second-hand cars, bar none. And values have fallen to the level of silver shadows, and they're unlikely to fall any further. Buy now and you'll have the satisfaction of knowing that you got in at the bottom of the market. You could literally sell on in a year or two and still get close on what you paid. That does make owning a Daewoo seem rather extravagant. From the 18th to the 22nd of July, Silverstone plays host to a brand new summer event, Top Gear Live. Rally cars, new cars, classic cars, bikes, off-roaders, selling, buying, in fact everything you know and love from Top Gear and Top Gear Motorsport. So if you want a motoring day out to remember, there's only one place to be this July, Top Gear Live. For more information, call 0121 767 4272, and don't worry, we'll be flagging that number up again at the end of the programme.
There's armored cars and tanks and jeeps and rigs of every size. Yeah, them chicken coops was full of bears and choppers filled the skies. Well, we shot the line, we went for broke with 1,000 screaming trucks and 11 long-haired friends of Jesus in a chartreuse microbus.
If you think that formal wear means ironing a crease in your jeans, if your doorbell plays the theme from The Brothers, and if you think that health food is a peanut and raisin Yorkie, then this is the highway to heaven. But as well as the sideshows, it's an opportunity for the big hitters in heavy goods to show off the next big thing. For Volvo, it's the Globetrotter XL, while Scania had the Truck of the Year award for their driver-friendly design, with a big comfortable cab and easy access, making all the essential daily checks a doddle.
Ever had to take your trousers off when it's -20? No, neither have I. But that, believe it or not, was the inspiration behind the biggest cab on the market, the Leyland DAF Super Space Cab. The collapse of communism has opened up the Old East. Moscow is now a popular destination. For long hauls like that, you need 2 drivers, so there are 2 bunk beds. Also for your 90 grand, you get a powerful 14-litre diesel engine and all the comforts of home. And as there are no little chefs in Uzbekistan, there's a fridge under there and a microwave in there. I wonder what's on the box. The new breed of European trucks are very clever and practical. They're just a bit plain. However, there is a truck, and I mean a truck, making its debut at Truckfest that oozes star quality from every orifice. It's a Peterbilt, it's American, but it's never going to be Swiss, was it? And they're going to let me drive it. Hi Phil.
Hi Steve.
Or should I say, that's a big 10-4, good buddy.
Some of you will have already noticed what makes this a unique rig. Yep, right-hand drive.
I'm just a bit disappointed it's not one of the ones with a great big bonnet on the front.
Yeah, well, the ones with the bonnets on the front, we're not allowed to bring them into this country because they'll be over length for the restrictions. They're not allowed to pull trailers or anything like that.
So where was this Peterbilt built?
This one was built in Seattle, which they own Foden Trucks, which is an English company.
In Sandbach, aren't they?
In Sandbach, in Cheshire, yes.
Why is it that American trucks are so much better looking than European ones?
Well, in America, there's a lot of owner-drivers that drive these trucks, and they like all the chrome and the aluminium to look really stylish. but over in this country, you don't have so many owner-operators.
But most guys work for haulage companies, don't they? I think if I was going to drive a truck, it'd have to be one of these.
If you thought that murals and metal flake were strictly 70s, well then these guys obviously haven't been paying attention. It's as if the 80s and the 90s never happened, and some are just hopelessly lost in the 50s. That is Johnny Hallyday, the French Elvis. But that's all harmless stuff. And then there's Steve Murty. Steve is a Yorkshireman who got bored with his diesel and wondered what would happen if you bolted a lightning jet engine in instead. What did happen is terrible trouble in the car park at Tesco's. How splendidly silly. If you're behind Steve and he presses the wrong pedal, you're a kebab, but you're far more likely to grow gently behind a caravan.
This is the last caravan on earth you want to get stuck behind, because the combined length of this London Air trailer and the Freightliner truck that hauls it is around 80 feet. Some of you will be asking yourselves, why? Others, how? Surely it's too wide for British roads. Well, it is right now, but at the flick of a switch, something rather remarkable happens.
And would you believe, he made it all out of empty cereal packets, old washing up liquid bottles and sticky back plastic. Mind you, some people have access to welding equipment, and somewhere in Sweden there's a tractor on bricks.
We started to race in Sweden, what we called Monster Race, in 1988. And the cars just got bigger and bigger, and now this is the biggest.
Well, obviously you can't just go to your local GMC dealer and buy a monster truck. You have to build it, don't you? So yes. Where do you start?
We started with deciding how big tires we should have. And then we had to get some axles. And when we had the axles, then we thought of the rest.
So you end up with this chassis. Presumably you build this chassis yourself?
Yes.
I also believe it's rather good at gratuitous destruction.
Yes, indeed it is.
Well, let's do some, shall we?
Okay.
Normally, Anders is a very nice man, about to take his master's degree. But when he gets behind the wheel of the Mean Viking, he changes. He becomes the Mean Viking with 1,000 horsepower from the 8-litre V8 engine. The highlight of Truckfest is the Battle of the Monster Trucks. From America comes Bandit with 1,200 crazy horses on tap. But the Mean Viking was born to do battle. But when you launch a 1.5 tons of iron high in the air and slam it back down again, something's got to give. In this case, the ignition. Anders only managed one run. Not so much the Mean Viking, more the slightly peeved Scandinavian. So it was Bandit who stole the show.
Truckfest 96 is an articulated extravaganza, a mecca for monster trucks and a homage to heavy goods. And do you know what? I think I've found the ultimate vehicle for the 6-year-old in all of us. Take it away, Fred!
It seems like the striking little Renault Spider has been around for ages. Launched at the Geneva Motor Show a year ago, Jeremy managed to grab one for a few laps of Monaco on his Motor World tours. But delivery of the first of the 200 right-hand drive production models destined for the UK won't be till much later this year.
And by then, it'll be winter again. So it's going to be spring 1997 before the buyers are going to be able to appreciate the joys of open-air motoring.
Plus, of course, the aroma that goes with it. The Spider is a bit of a poor man's Ferrari F50, a racing car experience on the road, but here there is no roof option, not even a screen.
Most of the air is actually deflected over your head by this aero screen, which puts up a wall of air in front of you. But a helmet, goggles or glasses are a must to protect against those bigger flying objects.
Powered by the 150 horsepower 2-litre 16-valve from the Clio Williams, with brakes from the A610 and weighing the same as a Twingo, lively performance is guaranteed. 0 to 60 takes just under 7 seconds, and they claim a top speed of 134 miles an hour. The Spider is rear-wheel drive with a nice notchy 5-speed gearbox, but the engine tone is not something that'll excite you too much. And when it actually comes down to driver involvement, the chassis disappoints. Renault wanted to give the sort of sensations provided by a single-seater racing car, but they've ended up with something too soft and too comfortable. It doesn't come alive in your hands like the outrageous Rocket or even a Caterham 7.
But that's a minor complaint, because the whole sensation of this open-fronted motoring is a blitz. True, there's no radio, no heater, no nothing, but I don't care.
3 attractive dials give revs, water temperature and oil pressure, and it will be easy to forget checking the ugly digital speedometer in the centre.
Sadly, but sensibly, the British production are going to have windscreens and windscreen wipers, which are bound to detract from the sheer joy of driving this car. But at least they'll keep the flies out of your face.
The welded aluminium box chassis is produced by Hydra Aluminium in Denmark, and the cars are put together at Renault's Alpine base in Dieppe.
You can have red, yellow or blue, and you get a little boot in the front, some fancy doors, a mid-engine layout, oh yes, and a price tag of nearly £30,000.
75 of the 200 already have deposits on them, so if you want to be different, don't take too long in making your mind up. Mind you, if you can't wait until the end of the year, you can buy one now. Not for the road, but for the racetrack, where there's a one-make championship for the little 2-seater machines.
It's the same basic car, but now there's a very fancy rollover cage, racing tyres and a 6-speed racing gearbox. Oh, and this one's got my name on it. Right, I've got my canary yellow Spider suit on, and in practice I was 4th fastest. But they have a little system where the top 8 go into a draw, and I've drawn 6th on the grid, so I've got a bit of work to do. Oh, and one other difference with the race version, they've got no door.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. I like to move it, move
Time for 10 laps of flat-out action. Revs rising, heartbeat rising, the lights go green, and I let the engine get bogged down.
Not the best of starts. We've got a bit of work to do now.
Down in 6th place, the 3 faster than me in practice are getting away. I need to get by the 2 in front, and quickly. 6th gear, 120 miles an hour.
I backed off, missing the other guy. But what happened? I thought he was going to crash. It was almost me that crashed.
Now I was on my own at the back, but at least I was better off than some.
Oh, maybe we'll get a red flag with any luck and a restart. It's a red flag! Yeehaw! Good choice!
My luck was in, and I got another chance.
Oh, I blocked it again. But so was the bloke behind me this time. So hopefully I won't lose so many places. Right, now we're up with the big boys. Let's concentrate on a bit of racing.
But then I changed up from second to fifth.
Wrong gear, Tiff. Look how much time you lose. Wrong gear again.
Third to sixth this time.
Oh, I hooked second gear then. Oh, sugar and spice. I've only done this on purpose, you know, to give the cameras something to look at.
But now I had a battle on my hands to get my fourth place back.
2 laps more to sort him out. Could be tricky. Back off, take a run at him. He's slower than you through here. Oh no, he's just about stopped. What the hell's he doing? Right, Sonny. If that's your game, I'm having you. Oh, I've gone wide. Oh, God. I might have lost my entire advantage. No, he's lost it.
Last lap, last corner. There was only one thing to do. Round the outside on the right and claim the line for the left. Done it. Oh well, there's life in the old dog yet. I thought I was never going to get that place back, but you've got to teach these young children some old lessons sometimes. Spider racing, great fun.
That's all from Top Gear until September the 5th, when we're back with a bigger, better and longer series. But Top Gear Motorsport continues until June the 21st. Tomorrow